Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today I am doing part 1 of my January wrap-up. So at first I was like, let's do one wrap-up, and then I basically ended up with a lot of books. So yeah, this is the first part. So the first wrap-up now will be of the first 12 books. So yeah, let's just get into it and talk about the books. Let's just move this one over here so editing me can do pictures, just because I do have some physical books, but you know, it's just easier when I talk about them to have pictures instead. So the first book I finished this month was A Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. And basically this book, in this book we are following Luella, and she lives in the human world, but on like the border close to the elf kingdom. And basically every like 100 years or so, the elves comes over to the town where Luella lives, and basically picks out a human wife who will basically kind of help the elf kingdom. And basically it is now a year overdue to when the last, like the human queen, was supposed to be picked, but they didn't kind of find her. But then the elf king comes for her, and basically everything she has learned is that if you get picked to be the human wife, it will be certain death. So yeah, I gave this book 4 stars. I really did love this book. I love the romance. It was, yeah, once you got to know both of the characters, I really did enjoy them. And I really did like the characters. I felt like I really connected with them. There wasn't like the biggest plot. This is more of a like character-driven book. Not a lot of plot, but the characters really grow throughout this, and the focus is mainly on the characters. So if anyone needs a plot-driven book, I don't think people will like this, because it's not plot-driven, it's character-driven. So yeah, 4 stars. Basically there was just something missing. So for me, a 5 star, I just know it within myself that this is a 5 star. I get that burning feeling, and I just didn't get that with this, but it was still a really good book. The next book I read was Null Fairies. The first volume is called Dust Pilot Down. And I got this, or it's not an ARC anymore. I had it on NatGalley, and sadly I didn't like this. So it's basically this graphic novel. I don't remember the main character's name or anything, but basically in the beginning of this graphic novel, she basically loses her power. She's a she's a fae. She loses, or a fairy. Yeah, she's a fairy. She loses all her fairy powers, so now she's basically this tiny human. And basically what happens is that there is something happening, and basically the dust they use are missing, and she sets out to find this dust. I gave it 2 stars. The story overall wasn't bad. I liked this story. But I was a little confused at times because there was a lot of jumping, and overall I just lost kind of the place where I was supposed to be. And basically sometimes it's just jumped over some parts, and I do know that graphic novels not always can be super long, but I just felt like some things I really was interested in and it's just jumped over parts. And the art itself wasn't bad, but I didn't like how the woman characters was drawn. I just feel like they are just the same, with large boobs and a large arch and small waists, and I'm like, that's not how people are in real life. Not like not a lot of people are like that. And basically the stance that the woman got in was like only to show that they had a cleavage. But what bothers me the most was how the fairy queen was portrayed and what she went in. I was just like, what is this woman wearing? Because I'm like, me as a woman, I don't feel like we should portray women that way. That's just my opinion. But yeah, and I feel like a lot of people has also felt it the same way. So 2 stars. The next book I read was Throne of Glass, and the spoiler vlog will not have gotten out yet, but it's on its way. But basically in this one we are following Selena, and basically she was captured and put in this salt mine, and then the prince comes and tells her that she wants her to be the princess champion in this tournament. And basically if she wins, she will get her freedom eventually. So she jumps on this, and yeah, I'm not going to say much more. I really did enjoy this. I give it 5 stars, but if you want more thoughts, I'll have a spoiler vlog in not too long. But I mean, it's a spoiler vlog, so I would recommend that you know, have read this book or don't care about getting spoiled for it. And then the next one I read was Carrie, and I also will have a spoiler vlog up for this in not too long. Carrie is about Carrie, and it's a horror book written by Stephen King. And basically it's about this girl, and she has this weird power that I never remember the name of, but basically it's like she can do different stuff, and I don't know how much I'm going to say about this book. The power is called telekinetic powers. Basically she gets angry, and what happens is shocking yet very sad. So I gave it 3 stars. If you want more thoughts, you can watch that spoiler vlog. But basically I was just a little bored from time to time. So, and the next book I read was The Blazing Star, and basically this book is about Portia. And she is basically getting overlooked by everyone because she has a genius sister called Alex. But when Portia holds an Egyptian scarab, she basically faints and she wakes up with powers. Or not powers, but she's stronger and faster and braver. And basically she accidentally, they have it, touches the scarab again, and she is transported back into ancient Egypt with her sister and an unwitting freshman in tow. So now she must figure out what is happening and possibly find her way back home. So I gave this 3 stars. I mean, 3 stars is not bad. I really did really enjoyed this book. I just felt like it wasn't like the best. It was a little slow from time to time, but overall I really did enjoy it, and I'll definitely read the next one because I want to see the conclusion and if they even get back home or not. So yeah, 3 stars. It was really great. I cannot say anything about the representation in this because I'm from Norway. I have never been to Egypt, and yeah, and I have never studied like ancient Egypt. So yeah, I can't say if this is portrayed well or not. But you know, if you want to find out, I bet there are reviews about that. So yeah, the next book I read was The Queen of Eflario, and basically in this one we are following Princess Sophie, and she was supposed to go to Eflaria to marry the crown prince. However, he dies, and to basically to keep on going with this this kind of deal they had, I almost said. Basically, Eflaria is troubled by dragons, and Sophie was supposed to help with this problem and marry the crown prince, but he died. So to keep her there, they want her to now marry the crown princess named Adele. I think it's Adele. And yeah, but she doesn't want to take the throne, so it's basically about that story. It's very short, but yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I really did enjoy it, and it was really good. I liked how, I mean, it wasn't like they really hated each other, but they didn't know each other at all. And you kind of get to see them grow closer, and yeah, I really did like this book. 4 stars is really good. I just didn't have that 5-star feeling. The next book I read was Culty. And in this book we are following 27-year-old Sal Casillas. And basically she used to love this soccer player called Rainer Culty. And basically when it's revealed that Culty will be this year's soccer trainer, it's supposed to be the greatest thing in the world. But Sal stopped being a fan of Culty after something happened. And yeah, basically when he shows up, he's totally different than she thought, or the icon she got to know. And he was once. So yeah, I gave this 5 stars. I loved this book. It's definitely my favorite book of the month so far, and my favorite book of, I don't know, might be the year. It's crazy if it's the year. So I have to say, I had never been a fan of any sports to watch on TV. I never watched soccer on TV, but I really did love this book. And these books, like this book, is a slow burn. So if you don't like, there are slow burn books and then there are slow burn books. If you don't like books that are extremely slow in romance, then I don't think you will like this book. I love the book. I love this book. I love a slow burn romance, and yeah, I will definitely read more from Mariana Zapata. And then the next book I read was Invisible Girl, and basically we are following 3 different timelines, like POVs in this. And the first one is Owen Pick, and basically his life is falling apart. He's 30, he's a virgin, and he's living with his aunt. And he's just been suspended from work, basically accused of sexual misconduct, which he denies. And then we are also following the ones that live across from him, which is the Force and the mom Kate. And yeah, they think it's creepy, that Owen is creepy, and yeah, they have their suspicions on him. And then we also following Sapphire. And Sapphire is connected to Rowan because she was his patient, because Rowan is a child psychologist. And basically now she feels abandoned when the therapy has ended. And then one day Sapphire disappears, and the last person to see her alive was Owen. So I gave this 3.5 stars. I found it interesting enough, and the ending really gave me chills. Like the last few sentences really gave me the chills, and I was just like, wow. But there was a middle part where I wasn't that interested, and the reason why Sapphire, the reason, I don't know, I just didn't feel like that was necessary, because I mean, this could have ended much earlier, you know. The next book I read was A Piece of Work, and in this one we are following Rin, and she gets this internship at a art department, and yeah, she's tall, I think she's Asian, and she's very tall for being Asian. And basically the first day she meets her boss, Dr. Lyons, and his name is Court, and he is not the nicest. He just says that you won't last much, you won't last long. And basically after that she decides that she needs to fit in more, and she wants to change, so she changed and everything changes. So I give this 4 stars. I really did like this book. Like the first few times we met Court, I didn't like him, but he grew on me. So yeah, I will definitely continue on with this and see if I like the other books. It's a standalone companion series, so. The next book I read was Barbarian Alien. And in this one, this is a sequel to Ice Planet Barbarians. And you can read these as standalones, but if you read them kind of as a series, they get richer. So in this one, we are following Liz. And basically, to survive, they need to get this weird thing in so they can breathe this air. And basically, this is I don't remember. Is it Rahash or Rash? That's the guy with the alien's name. And Liz, and it's their story, and I don't think I want to tell much. I think you should start with Ice Planet Barbarians because you get to know much more how they got on the planet then. But if you want to, you can start on this. But yeah, I mean, there is always like something that is happening that keeps this interesting. So the second to last book I want to talk about is truly Devious. And basically, in this one, we are following like kind of two timelines. Not really though. You get to know what happened. But basically, this is set on Ellingham Academy, and that is a private school. And basically, shortly after this one opened, his wife and kid was kidnapped, and basically the murder was set, and he used his synonym truly Devious. And basically this crime is still unsolved. So basically, true crime. Stevie Bell loves true crime, and she is set on her first year at this academy, and she wants to solve this murder. So basically, she wants to solve this cold case, and is working on that when truly Devious makes his reappearance. So I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. It was so good. I think I read it in a day. And yeah, it was super interesting, and I'm definitely going to read the next book because it was so good, and I can't wait to read more. And yeah, I mean, it's a mystery, and a really good one. So it also has this romance thing in it. I don't know how I feel about that yet, especially since the end. But I can't wait to continue on and see how this kind of goes. The last book I want to talk about is Dead Mountain, and this is a non-fiction, and the author himself went to Russia to kind of find out if there was some kind of what could have happened. So I mean, he was interested in this case himself. Basically, what Dead Mountain is about it's a true crime, and unsolved. No one will truly know what happened, but at the end we kind of got what could have happened, the most likely scenario on how these 9 experienced hikers died up in a pass far up north in Russia, now kind of called the the Dyatlov Pass. So basically, these 9 hikers, they were supposed to get their like hiker license, I almost call it. And basically they wanted to go up in this pass, and or not in this pass, they were supposed to like go on this trip that went through the pass, and basically they never got home. So basically they started to look and they found them all dead. And the thing was, they were not dressed to be outside. So they were without shoes, without jackets, and it was freezing. So basically the author kind of tries to figure out what could have happened. And I found the ending satisfying. The kind of thing that he came to, I feel like, is the most likely scenario, because everything else was that has been kind of experienced, that I almost said, like thought about, it just seemed like it couldn't have happened. I get this book 4 stars, really did enjoy it, and yeah, I mean, now I kind of can get a little closure on what because this kind of story, this was the first podcast episode I listened to, and it has been on my mind since then. And yeah, now I kind of feel like I can put it behind me, because I feel like the answer I got is good enough. We will never know fully what happened, but it just seems the most likely. But yeah, that was all the books I am going to talk about this time. It's already long, so I think it's good that I am going to do this, because this one will be at least 30 minutes long, and I have only talked about like half of the books I have read. So yeah, that was it for this time, I almost said. So I hope that you like this video, and I hope I will see you next time. Bye!